السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔ یوٹیوب کا چینل گائیڈ ٹو لرن انگلش میں آپ کا خیر مقدم ہے۔ میں ہوں محمد شہاب الدین، ایک نئی ویڈیو کے ساتھ۔ دوستو، جیسا کہ آپ سبھی حضرات اچھی طرح جانتے ہیں کہ اس سال کا 15 اگست آنے والا ہے، لہذا آپ کی خدمت میں یوم آزادی اور اس میں مسلم علماء کے کردار کے تعلق سے ایک بہت ہی بہترین انگلش اسپیچ یعنی انگریزی تقریر پیش کی جا رہی ہے، تاکہ آپ لوگوں میں جن کو کہیں بولنے کی ضرورت ہو وہ کچھ یہاں سے بول سکے اور انگلش اسپیچ دے سکیں۔ اور سب سے اہم بات یہ ہے کہ آپ کو تلفظ یعنی پوری تقریر کا پروننسیشن بھی معلوم ہو جائے گا کہ کہاں پہ کیسے بولنا ہے، کیسے ادا کرنا ہے۔ نیز اس تقریر کا اردو ترجمہ بھی کر دیا گیا ہے۔ مکمل تقریر کا PDF فائل لنک نیچے ڈسکرپشن میں دے دیا گیا ہے، آپ ضرور ڈاؤنلوڈ کریں۔ ویڈیو بہت ہی شاندار ہونے والی ہے، اس لیے آپ اس کو آخر تک اچھے سے دیکھیں اور سنیں۔ آگے بڑھنے سے پہلے دوستو بتا دوں کہ اسی مہینے کی 7 تاریخ یعنی 7 اگست سے 3 مہینے پر مشتمل ایک انگریزی بیچ شروع ہو رہا ہے۔ اس میں بالکل شروع سے انگریزی سکھائی جائے گی۔ تعلیم کا وقت صبح 6 بجے سے 7 بجے تک کا ہوگا۔ یہ صرف انڈین کے لیے ہے۔ داخلہ کرانے یا تفصیل جاننے کے لیے رابطہ کریں 76 67 63 52 99۔ تو چلیے شروع کرتے ہیں۔ All praise be to Allah, the creator of the worlds. May the blessings and peace be upon his prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the head of all messengers, upon his family and all his companions. Dear audience and beloved brothers, today on this auspicious occasion, I am going to deliver a speech on the topic of Indian Independence Day. As you know very well, it's the most important day for all Indian citizens. It's the day when we got freedom from British rule after many years hard struggle by the great freedom fighters of India. We celebrate this day every year on 15th August for the sacrifices of our great freedom fighters and our ulama who sacrificed their lives for making India free. Dear audience, today in all over India, there are many programs and celebrations are held in remembrance of our freedom fighters. But unfortunately, the role of Muslims and sacrifices of our ulama who sacrificed their lives for freedom are not mentioned anywhere. That's why today I'm going to talk about the real heroes of freedom and full history of Indian independence. Brothers, as you know very well that before 1947, the British government used to be in India. The British came in India for trade purpose in 1608. Later, they established the East India Company and became more powerful. In 1757, the first military force came in India, which was led by Robert Clive and fought against Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla at Plassey Field. Because of Mir Jafar's disloyalty, the British force defeated Nawab. Since then, the dark day of India had started and the East India Company transformed from trader to ruler. After the Battle of Plassey in 1757 and later the Battle of Buxar in 1764, the East India Company became a political power and ruled separately till 1857. But after 1857 independence battle, the British Crown ruled till 1947 in full power. Then the British Raj ended on 15th August 1947 after many struggles and sacrifices of our ulama, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs and Christians. When they all fought against British, then they had to go back from India and our lovely country became a free nation. Dear Indians, today if we are free and take the breath of freedom, it's just because of sacrifices of our great ulama and leaders who fought against British and sacrificed their lives. But it's very regret that today we are said to leave India, we are said traitors, we are considered danger for the safety of our country, we are attacked by mob lynching, we are targeted by NRC, CAA and UCC, it means Uniform Civil Code, etc., etc. There is a biggest misconception propagated that Muslims have divided our country and they have no any role in getting Indian freedom, which is totally baseless and fully wrong. In fact, if Muslims didn't take a part in Indian freedom struggle, then India would never become free from British. Because the real enemy of British were Muslims, it's because the British snatched political power from Muslims and Mughal emperors. Many Muslim emperors and leaders sacrificed their lives for protection of motherland, such as Nawab Sirajuddaulah, Hyder Ali, Tipu Sultan, Maulana Shah Waliullah Muhaddis Dehlavi, Shaykhul Islam Maulana Hussain Ahmad Madni, Shaykhul Hind Hazrat Maulana Mahmudul Hasan Deobandi, Maulana Muhammad Ali Mia Jawhar, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Rahimahumullah, etc., etc. The list is too long. The audience, when the British found Hindu-Muslim unity against themselves, they played unpious political card, divide and rule on religious base. Let me tell you that the role of Muslims in 1857 Battle of Independence. Almost 51,000 ulama were hanged. There were no any trees left between Red Fort and Chandni Chowk on which ulama were not hanging. Thousands of ulama were burnt alive and million parts of Quran were burnt. It's just because they endorsed fatwa against British. How can you forget that the first person who endorsed fatwa against British and said, today India became slave, was not anyone but a Muslim? How can you forget that the first person who fought against British was not anyone but a Muslim? How can you forget that the first person who started first revolution for independence was not anyone but a Muslim? How can you forget that the first person who said it is far better to live like a lion for a day than to live like a jackal for 100 years was not anyone but a Muslim? How can you forget that the first person who said, सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदू सिता हमारा, हम बुलबुले हैं इसकी ये गुल सिता हमारा, was not anyone but a Muslim? How can you forget that the first person who sounded the slogan of Inqilab Zindabad, long live the revolution, was not anyone but a Muslim? How can you forget all these sacrifices of Muslims? Let me tell you that till 1857, only Muslims fought against British, but after 1857, Hindu, Sikh and Christians brothers also took part in independence struggle. The great freedom fighters were Mahatma Gandhi, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Subhash Chandra Bose, Tipu Sultan, Ashfaqullah Khan, Chandrasekhar Azad, Maulana Muhammad Ali Jal Bahadur Shastri, Maulana Hussain Ahmad Madni, Maulana Mahmudul Hasan Deobandi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, etc., etc. After all these leaders' struggles, efforts and sacrifices, our country India became free on 15th August 1947. The audience, this is a real picture and actual scene behind the independence of India. Hope you all must have understood the sacrifices of Muslim ulama and leaders in making India free from the British rule. Here I wind up my speech. May Allah keep Indians safe and prosperous, and may India be the most beautiful place in the world. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. वीडियो देखने के लिए आपका बहुत शुक्रिया। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, स्क्रीन पे आ रही ये वीडियो ज़रूर देखें। अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।